welcome to the channel. For everyone that's new, hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Smash subscribe. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I hope this video blesses you in every way possible. And give you guys just a few seconds to get on because I'm live on a Friday. I do not get to do this a whole lot. So I wanted to make sure that I could come on. I just finished my walk. And so I'm about to get into some other things for the rest of the day. And I just want to come on and share with you the idea of no longer, because a lot of you guys are the 90%. I've been there, I've done that. 90% is where the struggle life is. And I don't want you guys to be a part of the 90%. I want you guys to be a part of the 10%. So that comes with shifting some things, shifting the way you think, shifting the way you move, your idealisms, letting go of traditionalisms. Let me just tell you how I think, right? So here's what I learned very, very quickly, right? So in 2020, which is probably the last year I can remember where life was affordable. So if you remember when life was affordable, just 3 years ago and some months, 2020 things were still affordable. Can we agree on that? If you agree that things were still affordable in 2020, smash the thumbs up and let me know. By the way, guys, I'm on live, so if you have a question or comment, drop it. And let me know your city and state, drop it so I can know where everybody's watching from. So if you remember 2020, 2020 was probably the last year that life, as we know it, was affordable. So what happened after that? So everything increased in price. So everything went up. Everything became more. It became a lot harder to buy a house. It became a lot harder to buy a car. Became a lot harder and very stressful for families just to go out and buy groceries. Right? Groceries were skyrocketing in price, still are. And what you were getting for $150, $200 in 2020 grocery wise was cut significantly, and now you're probably getting a little more than half of that. So if $200 in groceries were like filling up your buggy, now you can carry those bags out with two hands. And all of a sudden, life became very unaffordable. But I want you to know something. Even though I realized that this was taking place, it shifted. When I started seeing this, it shifted the way I was thinking. And so immediately I went from, wait a minute, we just got to make enough to get by, to make a living, pay the bills. I dropped that and I say, hey, wait a minute. We've got to make enough to thrive, right? Everything's going up. The cost of living is going up. They're talking about inflation. What is that? Rents doubling, houses are doubling. And so we got to learn to make more money because most people are going to instantly say, hey, we need to scale back. We need to cut things. We need to get small. Somebody even commented on one of my videos and they were like, why not live below your means? And so my question to that person is, why live below your means? Why would you want to live a life that's below your means? Why would you want to exist in this world and live below your means? Who would want to do that? So my advice to you is not to live below your means. Yes, though, if you have a bunch of stuff that you don't use and you pay for, obviously get rid of things that you don't need and you pay for. But the idea of I'm just going to get smaller and enjoy my life, that's a stressful existence. And so what I try to teach you is, hey, I don't want you to live below your means. Now, don't be foolish with your money, right? Don't make stupid money decisions like I used to. But what I want to do is I want to teach you how to grow your means so you can live the life you want to live. So if you find someone who lives below their means, then that person is probably living the life, and I wouldn't even say probably, I bet that person's living the life they don't want to live. They live in the life that they have to live. And I always advise you that there's two ways you're going to live in this world. You're going to live the life you have to live, or you're going to live the life you want to live. I've lived for most of my life the life that I have to live, and it ain't fun, right? Not being able to do the things you want to do, talking yourself out of it because you can't afford it, talking yourself out of it because you don't have the budget. And so I submit to you the idea of growing your means so you can live the life you want to live. So I'll just tell you something really quickly. 90% of people in America have less than $5,000 in a savings account. That's 90%. I got news for you. If you don't have, because I'm not a big believer in saving money. I used to be, but I don't teach that now. That's blasphemy, right? But I'm doing this to illustrate a point that most people live below their means. Most people get smaller instead of getting larger, instead of growing their means, asking the question, how do I make more money? Which is the question I ask myself. Instead of saying, hey, I want to be as small as possible, I said, hey, what do I need to do to live in that house? What do I need to do to be able to drive that car and my wife drive that car? What do I need to do to be able to take 3, 4, 5 vacations a year when I want to, whenever I want to, right? And so those are questions that you ask to grow your means. So think about this. 90% of people in America, $5,000 or less in their savings, probably less than that. And so I don't want you to focus and become the 10%. I'm sorry, 90%. I don't want you to focus and become the 90%. I want you to focus only on becoming the 10%. This is where you belong. This is your box. These people live the life that they have to live. You don't want to be here. They live the have to life. You want to be here and live the want to life. You can live the life you have to. You can live the life you want to. My advice to you is to live the life you want to live. Why? Because of this little thing called time. You're running out of it. You don't get it back. When it's gone, it's gone. When you die, you're dead. There's no coming back. There's no redoing your life. None of that. You're gone. This world as you know it is finished. And so, somebody posted, I think earlier today, and I happened to see it. It might have been on Instagram or something. And the post was saying this person worked all these hours, all these years, and then all of a sudden died young. And their desk was empty for a week. They replaced her. She never got that pension she was working hard for. She never got to enjoy that extra bonus that she was hustling and grinding for. And retirement that she was willing to devote her entire working career to earn no longer applied. She would never benefit from it. Her time went, right? Her time came in, went out. All those things that she was working towards, putting in all that hard work. That's why I tell you guys, hard work does not always pay off. You don't have to always do hard work. All you have to do is work at a higher level. Like they say, don't work harder, work smarter. That's why I teach you how to be a CEO, so you can work hire and let others do all the work while you build a legit business. That's why I tell you, you can go to work and trade your time for a paycheck for the rest of your life, or you can use your paycheck to create a business and let the business pay you for the rest of its life, right? So you guys think when you go to work, and you make this mistake, you guys think when you go to work that you're the only ones getting paid. Because you trade time for money, you think you're the only one getting paid. I'm here to tell you, you're not the only one getting paid. And you're the least paid in the transaction. So when you go to work, you sell time for money, you sell your hours for money, and then they pay you. And then you go, well, every hour I sell to you, I want to be compensated at this amount. And then you think you're the only one who's getting paid. I'm getting that paycheck at the end of the week. That's my money. I've earned it. And I'm here to wake you up. See, I told you, I'm not a traditional thinker. I'm here to wake you up and say, wait a second. You think you're the only person getting paid when you go to work? No, boo. It don't work that way. They are getting paid too. Wait, the company's getting paid? Yeah, you're paying them. They're not just paying you, you're paying them. And the worst part is you're paying them more than they are paying you. I'll say that again. You are paying them, your job, more than they are paying you. Now, make that make sense. Okay, I got you. Right? So here's how that makes sense. When they pay you because you trade your time for money. They pay you according to what your time is valued at per hour. Correct? They only pay you what they think you're worth. That's it. That's how we get a ceiling or a cap on our income. Now, When you go to work, you pay them with the most valuable currency there is, time. So when you sell your time to them, they give you dollars in return for your time. That's your job. That's your salary, your earned income. When you go to work for them, you pay them in time. Your currency, your time is more valuable than their dollar. But the only thing is you haven't realized that. And they know that you don't know that your time is more valuable than the amount of money they pay you. All right? So I'll prove it to you that time's more valuable. How much more valuable? 1 billion times more valuable, right? Infinitely more valuable. Here we go. So if I came to you today, and I could do this, if I came to you today and I wrote you a check for 500 grand, and I can do it, well, I can't, my wife can. So I always tell people, I don't have money. I'm married, I get allowance. And my wife takes care of that. But my wife can write you a check today for $500,000, right? And you can go to the bank and cash it. And it'll clear. Now, the only catch is when you cash that check and get all that money, you cannot wake up tomorrow. You're out of time. Now, who's going to cash the check? Exactly. All right. So what if we put a zero at the end of the check? 5 million. Will you cash it now? What about another zero? 50 million, 500 million, 5 billion, 50 billion, and on and on and on. Will you cash a check? The answer is no, emphatically no. Why? Because intrinsically, without even thinking about it, we understand and know that time is more valuable than any amount of money. Nobody would sell the rest of their life today for any amount of money. Nobody would. And those that unfortunately are leaving the world today, they would give every dollar to have more of what you have, time. And that's why I always tell you guys, I don't want you to feel like you're in a rush, but I do want you to hurry when it comes to being successful. You cannot afford to wait. You're running out of time. I used to make the mistake of telling people, hey, don't worry about it. You got time. No. You don't have time. Go fast. Go quickly. Don't be reckless, but please go quickly. If you want to start a business, go. If you want to invest, go. You want to flip houses, you want to start a YouTube channel, whatever you want to do, go right now. Go. Just take off and go. You've got to understand that nothing's going to happen unless you make something happen. So take off in the direction you want to go in. We're really good at doing that when it doesn't benefit us. We're willing to sell 30, 40 years of hard work to this company, hoping that they'll take care of us when we retire, hoping that we'll have this thing called a pension. I got news for you. If you are under 55 years old, and most of you are, there is no retirement for you. Social Security is bankrupt. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme in the world. People go to prison for Ponzi schemes, but the U.S. government, I hope I don't get canceled for this by YouTube, I hope not. But the U.S. government runs a Ponzi scheme in your face. A Ponzi scheme is simply when you have to borrow money from someone else to pay someone in front because you owe them. So you borrow the money from the back of the line to pay the front of the line. There's no real product. There's no real way to make money. Just using other people's money to pay it ahead until somebody figures it out. Bernie Madoff was sentenced to, I think, maybe life in prison for that. But yet the you-know-who does it every day, and it's called Social Security. Because if you don't go to work, they can't pay Miss Mary who's about to retire. They borrow your money to pay the future. The problem is, who's going to pay for you? There won't be anybody to pay for you. Nobody's working 40 years anymore. Find me somebody who's worked at a job for 10 years. It'd be hard to find. There aren't many people working that long. People aren't working for retirement. People figured out that the stock market is a casino. I know this because I worked in a casino. But people are figuring stuff out. They're figuring out that, hey, houses cost too much. Why would I put myself into voluntary prison trying to use this measly paycheck to pay for that overpriced house for 30 freaking years? That means I'm in jail for 30 years. Guys, if you have a question or comment, drop it. Let me know. If you agree or disagree, let me know. If you have a take, let me know. Uh, but now, because you guys being society, the 90%, remember I told you the 90% get pushed around. You guys being society is telling me, hey, Shon, listen, you got a family, you got blah, 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 you got a good job. And how many of you guys have heard that? People from the future, right? That's older than you. I call that people from the future. And you can see the future by looking at them. I was at a job one time, and this is when I lived in Louisiana. I live in Dallas now, but I was at a job one time, and I was working in the plant because that was a popular job back in Baton Rouge, make a few dollars, blah, blah, blah. And I was working in a plant overnight because plants are quiet, and I'm tired. I like to be left alone. And so I went to the break room. This guy was sitting there, and at that time, this is probably 10, 15 years ago. And that guy, like I was just getting into the work world. And this guy is probably close to retirement. And I remember the guy said, we were having a conversation, and the guy was like, hey man, look, you came in at a good time. You got a good job. If you stick with it, you can retire from here and blah, blah, blah. And I listened, I was respectful, but I remember thinking to myself whenever I went home that morning, because I worked overnight, that wait a minute, me looking at that guy, this guy looked like he's been in this plant for 40 years. It has physically beaten the soul out of him. He sacrificed whatever he could have been in life for that paycheck. That paycheck was good enough for you to give up your entire future of possibilities. You cashed it out. You said, I'll take the deal. When they said deal or no deal, you said deal. And here you are, 40 years later, probably 65 years old. You've spent your whole life in this plant making them rich, you poor, because you might be saying, well, the guy made money, he's going to retire, he's going to live okay. No, you're poor because what you were put here to accomplish was 10 times more valuable than that paycheck they gave you. And now you got to sit back, hope that they provide the paycheck they say they're going to provide. But the worst part is you lost 40 years that you can never get back because they paid you enough to buy your time. I'm not against jobs. God knows I'm not. A job is a good thing to have. Even with my students, I teach them, keep your job while I teach you how to start your middleman business. And then in 6 months or a year, when your business makes enough money to replace your job, then go and quit your job. I know your job sucks. I know you don't hate it. I mean, I know you hate it. I know it's not your purpose. I know you weren't put on this earth to do it. I got you. But it's a temporary Band-Aid to make sure that our finances are okay, right? So keep the job, sacrifice for another 6 months or so. Let me teach you how to build your own business from your phone. I'm going to teach you how to make money from your house or the beach or wherever you want to go. And then when you make enough money to offset the cost of your living and to replace your job income, then you go in very nicely and professionally and say, thank you guys, I appreciate the opportunity and I appreciate the paychecks and all the wonderful things you've done for me and my family, but this is goodbye, right? And so let them go, let them down easily. You never want to burn bridges. You don't know what bridges you're going to have to cross again. So life is tricky. It's up and down. Those things are out of our control. But what's in your control is making up your decision, or making up your mind, deciding that I'm not going to be the 90%. I'm not going to be out here struggle lifing. I'm not going to be out here struggle bussing. I'm not going to be out here driving the struggle bus in the struggle lane, in the express lane. I'm not going to be out here doing that. No, I'm looking at my life going, hey, how much more good time how many more good, healthy years do I have? I'm going to spend those healthy years doing what I want to do with my life. I'm not waiting until I'm 60 to try to go hang out on the beach and enjoy life. I need to do that while I'm young. A lot of you guys, you're in a position where you could change your life and retire in your 30s, realistically. No joke. I'm a man of integrity. I wouldn't sit up here and lie to you because you might be thinking I got to have a large sum of money to retire, and that's not true. You just have to have enough money to pay your bills without having to go to work. See what I did there? So I'll give you an example, right? To be the 10%. So the 90%, right? And let's do it this way. The 90%, you live the life you have to. If you are out there living the life you have to live, meaning that I can't do what I want to do, I can't eat hey, what's the lunch special? Okay. No, I missed it by an hour. All right, what's the kids menu? All right, so I've been there, done that. It ain't fun. When you live the life you have to live, how much is this gas? It's $3.19. What are they down the street? 5 miles away. It's 3:05. I'll drive five miles and waste 20, 30 minutes to save 15 cents or so, right? And that's when you're living the life that you have to live. Hey, man, that's a beautiful, beautiful home. What are they asking for it? They're asking, $575,000. My paycheck says I can't do that. Hey, man, you want to take a vacation? We're gonna pop out to Miami. We'll pop out to Cabo. We're gonna pop out in the island. Just go have some fun. Spend a week. A week? If you would have said a day, probably would have had me. But I tell you what, let me catch you next time. Reason being, because my paycheck says I can't do that. Right? Hey, you're dating somebody. You want to go out. You want to have a good time. Hey, I don't want to go to Applebee's. Nothing against Applebee's. I love it. I love the cookies. Let's go to Dickie V's. Right? Let's go to what's another one here? Del Frisco. Let's go to there's so many steakhouses. I don't know. Right? And I don't even eat a lot of steak. My wife does. And but let's go to those places. Let's go to those high-end Del Frisco's where you could get your plate might be $200. Let's go do that. And then you're like, okay, y'all are going tonight? Tonight. Okay. I'll tell you what, let me get you the next time. I'll catch you next time. Reason being, because my paycheck says I can't do that. Right? And you guys are in positions where your paycheck keep telling you what to do. Stop listening to your paycheck. You don't have to always listen to your paycheck. Man, if I'm preaching better than y'all are, amen. If this is blessing you, let me know, right? But stop listening to your paycheck. Your paycheck is going to lie to you. Your paycheck is going to continue to tell you that you're in the 90% and that's where you belong. And then I'm going to show up and I'm going to say, hey, what'd that paycheck tell you? Well, it told me that I was in 90% and I have to stay there. Okay, and you're going to listen to that paycheck? That paycheck's lying to you, right? You were put on this earth with amazing potential. Right? If you leave this world without doing what you were put here to do, that makes you not only bad, but it makes you wicked. I know that's saying a lot, but I'll prove it to you from scripture. Right? So there's a parable about the 3 talents. I want you to hear this out. Whether you're religious or not, just hear me out. Right? So there's a parable about 3 talents, meaning that God presented these 3 individuals with talents, whether it's money, whether it's gifts, abilities, whatever you want to call it. And so here's what they do. One goes out, multiplies it. Listen to the lessons here. The first one goes out, multiplies it. The second one goes out, multiplies it a little less than the first one. Let's say the first one multiplied it by 10. The second one goes out and multiplies it by 5. The third one goes out and decides, I'm going to play it safe. I don't want to owe anybody. I don't want to get in any trouble. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to make enough to get by. I just want to make a living. You stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. I just want to sit on this struggle bus and nobody bother me and I won't bother anybody. I don't want to talk about potential. I don't want to talk about gifts. I've already committed. I'm selling my soul, my time to this job for 40 years. It's a good job. I've been trained to get a job since I was a child in school. They told me to get good grades, to go to college, get a degree. I've done that. They gave me a job. I'm working for the man every night and day, right? And rolling on the river. And this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do anything else. And off you go. And you're that third person, right? And that third person does what? Takes their abilities, their talents, or their ability to multiply the money. They have the same ability, same economy. But they buried it in the ground. That's what a lot of you do. You bury your talents and your gifts in the ground. You do nothing with it. And so the owner of the, I think the vineyard or the kingdom comes back and calls them all together and say, what did you do? And then the first one says, hey, I multiplied by 10. The owner says, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Second one, hey, I multiplied it by 5. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. See the correlation between the first two? They did the same thing. They multiplied it. What did the third one do? Hey, listen, God, I know you gave me some talents. I appreciate it. But I know that you're a tough taskmaster, and I knew you were going to want to be paid back. So I didn't risk anything. For those of you saying, hey, it's risky to try to start a business. Let me tell you, it's riskier to rely on your paycheck to take care of you and your job to keep you. That's the real risk. I'd rather risk on myself than take risk on a company taking care of me. And so the master, God, turns to that servant and says, look, you knew that I was a hard taskmaster. You knew I would want to return. You didn't even put it in the bank and draw interest. That's the least you could have done. By the way, banks don't pay interest anymore. And he said, because you've done this, give me what you buried. And he gave it to not the one who multiplied by 5, but the one who multiplied by 10, meaning that the more you do, the more you get. Gave it to him, blessed him because he did the most. And for the one who didn't do it, anything, he lost everything. It was given to the others. Not only that, he was called wicked. Wicked. He was called evil for not living up to his potential. Think about that. And you guys are sitting there copping out, taking a plea bargain for the rest of your life to work this job that's supposed to take care of you and provide for you and your family. Don't do it. Don't let your paycheck tell you what to do. Stop listening to your paycheck. Stop living like the 90%. Most people, 90% are over here. 90% of America over here. 10% over here. 90%, here's what they know. Hey, if I want to get paid, time equals money. The 10% say, yeah, you can go on with that. That's cute. But I'm not looking to sell all my time for money. I want to get my time back so I can live how I want to live. So I'm looking to trade money for my time. See the difference? People over here live the life that they have to live. Boy, this is some good teaching, guys. And people over here in the 10%, people over here in the 10%, think about this. I hope you guys are getting this. You're welcome to screenshot it because I'm about to get off here. They're living the life that they want to live. Think about that. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it. If you have a question or comment, drop it. I'm looking for it. Let me know because I'll be off here in just a second. And so live the life they want to live versus live the life that they have to live, right? Now look, people over here, when they need money, the 90%, they say, hey, I need to find a job. 10% say, hey, I need to find a business. 90% say, man, I need to get a paycheck and I need to keep it for the rest of my life, even though I'm gonna run out of time and energy to do it. And the 10% saying, hey, you can keep your paycheck, brother. I need to find some cash flow, something that's gonna flow to me whether I go to work or not. See the difference? Right? Another one, the 90% is gonna say, hey, I need to go out and solidify myself as an adult and be responsible, like they say, and I need to go out and buy a house because a house is an asset. That's what they say. Hey, I need to go out and buy a house because it's an asset. And that's wrong. A house that you live in and pay a note on or a mortgage on is a liability. What's a liability? Anything that takes money out of your pocket, whether you work or not. When the house mortgage is due, who gets paid? You or the bank? The bank, exactly. So money leaves you. That's a liability. I know they call it assets, but now you know better, right? And the 10% say, hey, you go buy that house and live in it and pay that mortgage for 30 years in prison. And now you need a paycheck from a job. Now you're forced to sell your time for money and live a life you have to live and not a life you want to live. See how it rolls together? And the 10% is going to say, hey, I'll go ahead, start a business, get cash flow, use the cash flow to buy the liabilities, and I'll use the cash flow to acquire assets to continue to produce more cash flow. Are y'all getting this? They wouldn't let me teach this in college because people would drop out. They would never let me teach this in college. You guys are blessed. And I thank God for platforms like YouTube that lets me do this. But this is life-changing. Hey, I got to buy that house. Don't buy that house. Build the business first. Get cash flow first. Let the cash flow, I'll teach you real quick, ACL, and I'll let you guys go. A times C equals L. This is my formula to buy things that you shouldn't be buying, but the right way to buy them. You want to buy a house? I'll show you how to buy a house. 30 seconds. You ready? This will change your life, and you'll never be the same. Some of you are going to get in trouble with your family for this, but that's okay. Tell them Shon-Jhon showed you this, right? You want to buy a house? Okay, if you live in that house, money flows out. That makes that house a liability. All right, that's fine. We still need the house, but as long as we know what it is. All right, here's what you do. A, for assets. First thing I need you to do, take any extra money you get, buy yourself an asset. or invest in an asset. Start a business, get a vending machine, get a snow cone truck. I don't care what you do. Flip houses. Use money to create an asset, something that puts money into your pocket. That asset, so if you do what I do, you start a middleman business from your phone. And I'm going quickly because I got to go. But you start a middleman business from your phone. By the way, I teach you how to do this. I've done it in 2020. I made $77,000 my first year. Not bad. This year, on pace to do $350,000. What a blessing. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I know now. And I teach this in my masterclass. If you want to get in there, put the word middleman in the comments below. Please, please, please do this. I'll give you a link where it's on sale. You won't have to pay $1,000, which is if you go to the website, it's $1,000 because I'm there with you the whole time. You take the masterclass, and then I'm going to give you coaching and mentorship throughout the year. You won't be alone. I'm going to take this ride with you and help you to make money. I got students doing $3,000 to $4,500, $3,000 to $4,500 per month on their first month out, right? Now, all results are different, but still, the lowest student is $3,000 for the first month. Still not bad, right? That's how you get to live the life you want to. And most importantly, use money to buy back your time, because this is what we're really after. It's not the money. So I don't talk to you about being rich. I only talk to you about getting your time back. The only way you're going to do that is create an asset that creates cash flow, and then let the cash flow take care of you whether you go to work or not. That's why I love the middleman business, because I can do it from my phone. You want to get an asset, a house is a liability, we know that. So we need to get an asset like a middleman business, right? Let the middleman business grow, let it produce, say it produce $3,000 a month, right? So that's cash flow. Cash flow, the asset, we'll just put MM for your middleman business. It grows, 90 days later, it's producing $3,000 a month. I know that's not a lot of money, but I'm trying to make a point. $3,000 a month, guess what the house is asking for the mortgage? $3,000 a month. Before, you would have taken your paycheck, tried to buy this house, and have to keep that job for 30 years because that's how long the house note is. Now you're working a job you hate with a boss you don't like, with coworkers you're sick of talking to. That's prison. Voluntary prison. I told you, they won't let me teach this in school because people won't buy houses. Right? And so our cars or anything that's a liability, they'll go and get cash flow and let cash flow buy the liabilities. Just like this, ACL, house of liability, start a middleman business. Give it 30, 60, 90 days, it's making $3,000 a month. The house note is $3,000 a month. Now you take that cash flow, you go buy that liability, which is the house. Well, Sean, how am I going to pay for the house? The asset continues to make that money every month. Well, what if I don't go to work? Doesn't matter if you don't go to work. This ain't a job. This is an asset that creates cash flow. After about 6 months, you hire a VA, you pass all the work to them. I teach you how to do that, and you never have to touch that business again. Now you are truly a CEO, and your life changes. If you can make $5,000, $10,000 a month, and your bills are only $3,000, $4,000 a month, then all you need to do is create a business that creates cash flow, keep your bills low, and you never have to go to work again. That's what that guy in the plant didn't know, but I didn't know then where I could have taught him. But you're here for a reason. You're not here by coincidence. You're not here by accident, by mistake. You are here on purpose for your purpose. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but I promise you, this is going to bless you. And I can't wait, because I know somebody's listening and somebody's ready to change. I can't wait to have you in my masterclass, okay? If you go to middlemanceo.com, you're going to see the VIP, you're going to see the masterclass. The VIP includes the masterclass and one-on-one coaching with me. The masterclass is just just the class by itself. 8-hour course plus whatever else I'm adding on. Promise it's going to bless your life. Students making $3,000 to $4,500 coming out of the class. Not bad, taking $250 deposits. Oh, by the way, I teach you how to do 3 things. Book customers using your phone only. Take a deposit, get paid on the spot, right? And then dispatch the work to somebody else and let them do it. So I'm in 3 industries. I'm in the website design industry. I middleman that industry. I know nothing about website designs, and I don't want to know. I have a cleaning business. I'm here in Dallas. My cleaning business is in Jacksonville. I just partner with people in Jacksonville. I find customers for them. I get paid. They do the work. It's that easy. All right? So if you want to learn how to do this, I can all you have to do is put middleman in the comments. You'll get the link, that discounted link. Put it down there. In fact, you could just put middleman down in the comments. You'll get the discount link so you can get that masterclass plus VIP plus a private group plus group training plus everything. Instead of paying $1,000, you'll get it for a lot less, but that's only for people who are watching this video. So, all right, guys, if you have a question or comment, drop it now. I'm only going to be on here for a short time. Please drop it now. I appreciate all the views, all the likes, everybody who's dropping content. I got to go. Please, please drop it right now so I can see it. If you guys want to screenshot this, I'll step back and I'll let you see it. Nobody else is going to teach you this. This changed my life. I don't have to go to work. I'm on my way to pick my kids up from daycare, and we're going to enjoy the rest of our day and the rest of the weekend. So if you want to get this masterclass and you're like, hey, man, you're talking directly to me, I need to change my life and take control. How do I get this? Then put middleman in the comments, and then I'll see you guys. Those of you who are serious, the 90%, we'll see you later. The 10%, I'll see you in the masterclass. And again, 90%, we'll see you on the struggle bus, or you'll see each other on the struggle bus. You won't see me. But the 10%, I'll see you in the masterclass and VIP. Guys, have a wonderful, blessed day, and get ready, get excited. If you want to get that training, put middleman in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.